What's up, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Brittany Luse, Eric Eddings, the nod on Qubi. It's here. What's going on, everybody? How we doing?
Doing well. You know, it's a nice day out. So I'm inside.
That is meaningless information,
usual.
yeah.
But it's good to know that somewhere outside is a nice day. So yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
Even
it
though
is nice actually to see the leaves on the trees. That's
Yeah,
been like the
true.
big, I guess in between like my lifestyle of going to restaurants, being out in public with people, I didn't always take notice of the seasons. And now I'm like, like every leaf that unfurls.
I've never noticed before, like signs, like colors of buildings, like all these things now we're all super grateful for that we just completely overlooked all the time.
Absolutely.
It's like, wow, air. That's so good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm pumped that you guys are on Qubi. Obviously, you've been doing your thing with the podcast, now with the show. Yes. So why don't we start with the backstory here? How did you guys first link up, and when did you realize you had something special here? Eric, why don't you jump in?
Well, Eric and I, we met at a party in college. We both went to Howard University, and we kind of stayed friends, like basically from 2005 on. And then I guess I have to give Eric credit. He was the person who said we should start a podcast, and that was how this whole trouble started. It all just unraveled from there.
Yeah, that was about like 5 years ago, if not a little bit more.
Going on 6.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we've been friends for way too long, and throughout that whole time, we've just been having really great conversations. And so after a while, it's like, why don't we record these? Maybe there's something else there. And turns out, shockingly enough, there was. Thankfully.
Shockingly.
And it just turned into a good working relationship. They say never work with your friends, but strangely enough, today it's going well. Yeah.
Today it's going, I think probably because we're in separate locations.
Yes.
Is that contributing to the success? I don't know, but yeah.
When was the last time you guys were together?
March 13th.
Yeah.
Friday, March 13th.
It was our last field shoot.
Yeah.
No, that was the last day. It was the last day we were in the office. That's true. The last field shoot that we did was like 2 days before then, and we were drinking. We drank from the same glass, which you can see in the cognac episode of our show.
Yeah.
That already feels like a retro
concept. It's like we were living on the wild side,
Nobody's doing that anymore.
Nobody's doing that anymore. But yeah, we haven't seen each other since mid-March.
So what has been the toughest transition of long form with podcasting to short form with Qubi and just trying to bang stuff out?
Well, I think that there's positives to both, right? So the good thing with long form is you have so much time. You can collect all of these tape. You can interview all of these people. You can interview them again. Frequently, when you're listening to a 30-minute audio piece, there are maybe who knows how many, an unspoken amount of hours of interviews behind that, and writing and rewriting and writing and rewriting. But with a daily video show, it's really been trying to figure out what is the most interesting, most dynamic piece of story that we can get into that 5 to 7 minutes. And one thing I will say is, it turns out visuals get you a long way. We spent a lot of time in audio trying to describe like the taste of grape soda, or like trying to describe what a vintage fashion show looked like. The cool thing about video is that you can show people things. But yeah, I think just trying to figure out how to distill the stories that we tell and the dynamic of me and Eric and our real life friendship into something that people can watch in a really short period of time. It's been a really, really, really fun challenge.
Yeah.
Eric, what have been the biggest challenges in your mind?
Well, I think Brittany hit the nail on the head, really. I think it's a lot of just like what is actually important? Like what do I actually need to say? A lot of times when we talk, we'll tell stories, we'll weave in and out of something, go off on a tangent. And in 5 to 7 minutes, no, you got to make it important. It's got to catch you. It's got to be quick. So a lot of it is really just condensing to ask ourselves, like, what is the story? What's the most important thing that we need to communicate today and every single day after that? It's a different challenge than once a week.
Definitely a different challenge than once a week. It's like by the time you get the idea, it has to be pitched. By the time it's pitched, it basically has to be turned into a script, then you record it, and then boom, it's out in the world. It's like you don't have too much time to get like overly attached to anything, but also if something, you don't have any time. You don't have any time to get it too deep in your feelings about something one way or the other. It's just like, you got to get it out. But it's been really fun.
That's awesome. And I think the cool thing about what you guys do, whether it's the pod or whether it's a show on Qubi, is that you really deep dive into Black culture. Like, there's so many different layers to the stuff you guys are talking about. And clearly this is something that doesn't happen on the mainstream enough. And it's awesome that you guys are providing voice to it. So Brittany, why don't we start with you? Like, when did you realize things were starting to gain steam? And like, how would you describe your style to somebody who's never seen your stuff before?
What do you mean when you say, when did I realize things started to gain steam?
Oh, what I was saying is, like, when do you feel like the podcast was really starting to gain steam? And like, even with Qubi now, like, how did things kind of pop for you guys? And then how would you describe your style to somebody who's never seen your stuff?
Well, I think that one of the first signs that things started to gain steam was like, let me just take you back. So when Eric and I first started recording the podcast, we were doing it like either in the office building that he worked in at that time, in like a spare empty office, or in his apartment, because I had too many roommates with attitudes.